Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in our webcast and knowledge sharing seminar, I should say. I really, as we get into this pandemic more and more, even in the early days, I had a strong belief that we should continue to educate our customers and nurture as we're all kind of in this together, and many firms are not changing out systems now, but they're looking for more value that they can get out of their existing solution. So a series of webinar, hopefully you guys have joined multiple ones, but we've started with showcasing a lot of our great solution partners, and Trumpet today is one of those. Trumpet started out a couple of decades ago as a Worldox reseller, and it's now created some software product lines over the last years that's very successful within our Worldox client base. So thank you all again for joining, and I hope you are keeping safe. And Andrea and Angela, thanks for being here. And Hella, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Ray. As Ray mentioned, we have these webinars on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Hella Schwartz-Grossman. I'm the marketing manager at Worldox, and we are happy to have you join us today. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. The webinar will be recorded, and the link will be emailed to you afterwards. Everyone is muted, but if you have any questions, so go ahead and type them into the GoToWebinar questions pane, and we'll address the questions at the end of the webinar. Our speakers today are Angela Haubert and Andrea Krakower with Trumpet. Andrea brings over a decade of advisor consulting and project management experience to Trumpet and serves as Trumpet's lead trainer and implementation manager. She skillfully navigates clients through the process of adopting new technology, revolutionizes firms by listening to their pain points, and steers them through workflow processes and procedures to find efficiency and improvements. Angela is the channel manager at Trumpet, which means she works to support many of your VARs. She really strives to understand Trumpet's partners' businesses and their needs, while making sure the partners have the tools, resources, and support they require in order to continue to sell and support Trumpet and Trumpet software. She also helps fill the role of sales executive, so she can help answer questions about Trumpet's products that are considered off the shelf. Thank you in advance for the attention you'll be giving this webinar today. Angela and Andrea, I'm handing it over to you now.
Thank you so much, everybody, for that very warm welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to share more about how you can eliminate time spent and increase efficiencies within your Worldox workflow by trying on some of Trumpet's tools. I want to take a moment to share a little more about Trumpet. Our purpose at Trumpet is to help people enjoy the way they work. Trumpet has been doing this by automating workflow processes for over 20 years. We've done this by creating software, systems, and processes that help make people more efficient, and we make technology work the way that you do. We've held over 100 in-depth interviews with professionals like you across a range of industries. And what we found is that every organization suffers from relying on too many software systems to get their work done. We've also found that those systems don't work well together, and they're missing important features that would save people time and keep work running smoothly. We've learned that replacing systems is a costly disruption, and that no single system could ever meet every need in every firm because everyone works differently. Trumpet gets technology out of your way to keep work flowing. No more simple tasks that take up hours at a time. Software bots can do those. And no more data entry to work around an integration. We automate tasks within your existing systems. You get all the data, files, and facts where you need them so that you can make decisions quickly and give the clients the service they deserve. First question of the day: how much is your time worth? The average office employee spends 1.5 hours a day looking for things. This means it's 6 weeks per year. The typical executive wastes 150 hours a year searching for lost information. That's almost an entire month. What if we could help you get that time back? I want to share briefly a few of our products that integrate directly within your Worldox environment. These products help you save time and money. First up, Autofiler. With Autofiler, you can automatically batch file client reports or invoices into your Worldox system or Windows folder structure. This makes bulk filing a breeze. Then we have Symphony OCR. Symphony helps you find documents fast and have 100% confidence in your search results with automated OCR. This eliminates the frustration of not finding a document that you know is filed. And last, we have Symphony Profiler. Symphony Profiler allows you to batch scan multiple documents and have them automatically and precisely filed to Worldox. Symphony Profiler is the smart way to get paper into your Worldox document management system.
First up, the Autofiler. Let's start by talking about how long it takes to file documents in the Worldox. This is one of the more tedious problems Worldox filers face. Firms that produce a significant number of similarly named documents. Think a month's worth of invoices or time and billing statements. They don't have a way to efficiently get all of those documents filed correctly into Worldox without the time-consuming process of completing a profile for each and every document. Sure, users can take advantage of Worldox's quick profile templates, but nevertheless, they still have to select the proper client matter for their files. And while using WorkZone can help, that means filers still need to remove the documents from their Windows folder tree. This is particularly burdensome at the end of the month when they're tasked with filing all of that month's billing statements. The Worldox Autofiler can take batches of PDF files created by other pieces of software and save them to the appropriate client matter in the Worldox document management repository. It can determine the profile information in two ways: by either reading the name of the file, for example, if you have the client matter included in the naming convention, and then populate that profile card dynamically, or it can even read the contents of a rendered PDF file to obtain the client matter from a particular region of the file. For example, if your client matter is included in the upper right-hand corner of your case files. Because you're using standard profiles for all of your documents, with the Worldox Autofiler, there's never a question about where those documents can be found.
Now we'll talk a little bit more about Symphony OCR. We found that up to 30% of a law firm's documents are not content searchable, despite having Worldox's text indexes running. This can really impact conflict checks, responses to subpoenas, and finding files, when not everything may be content searchable. Worldox is a great document product for your firm, but did you know the full text search functionality only works on files that are text-based? This means your saved image-based content, like scans that are PDF or TIFF, and MSG attachments that are PDF or TIFF files, do not appear in your keyword search results, which makes it difficult and time-consuming to find the documents that you need. Some firms solve this problem by using other OCR solutions. OCR stands for Optical Character Recognition, which is the process of taking image-based documents and converting them to text so that document which was solely an image before is now content searchable. Firms can use the OCR option at their scanner or by using the OCR function in their PDF readers. These existing solutions work, but require quite a bit of human user interaction. In addition, not all PDFs come into the firm in a way that can be OCR'd. Let's think about how files flow into your firm. They probably come in via email, paper, maybe some digital files, and let's think about how many people may be adding files into your Worldox system. Not everyone may follow the same workflow, or even the same naming technique when filing documents into your repository. So how can you ensure that all of your files in your DMS are content searchable? Well, we started thinking about some of those same questions, and that's why Trumpet created an easy-to-use product that automatically makes these pesky files text searchable by any keyword or phrase, regardless of how it was saved or when it was saved. That solution? Symphony OCR. Symphony OCR is the name of the software that Trumpet developed. Symphony OCR is a background process that requires no human user interaction to start the OCR process. It continually monitors your repository to see if any new files have been added, which is also known as active monitoring. Symphony OCR also processes your backlog or legacy documents. Symphony OCR improves the performance and return on investment of Worldox document management system by automatically ensuring that PDF and at your option TIFF files are converted to a content searchable digital format. What makes Symphony OCR the best solution for law firms are these key benefits. Reputation. No other provider is recommended by name more often by Worldox VARs than Symphony OCR. Reliability. Symphony OCR is preferred by Worldox VARs and customers because it runs reliably behind the scenes with minimal need for administration or support. It's efficient. Symphony OCR processes backlogs efficiently, so processing happens in a timely manner. Responsive. Trumpet has an excellent track record and reputation of providing what has become known as Trumpet class support. Trumpet's development and support teams are located in the US. Plus, many of your Worldox VARs are probably already partners of Trumpet, meaning you can get Trumpet's products through the people you are already working with. Cost-effective. Symphony OCR cost-effectively helps ensure 100% of your pages are content searchable. There is no additional licensing cost for Symphony OCR to process your backlog of legacy documents, which is typically 30 to 60% of your existing images. Adaptable. Symphony OCR can process documents outside of Worldox as well. For example, if you have a staging area for e-discovery, ask your Worldox VAR if this option applies to you. And control. Unlike multi-tenant options, Symphony OCR runs on an individual machine, VM, or cloud server. This gives your firm ultimate control without having to have multiple security reviews or a dedicated server for day-to-day use. Now that we've talked about the benefits of Symphony OCR, let's talk about some of Symphony OCR's significant features. Document integrity. Unlike competing solutions, Symphony OCR uses delta compression to minimize file size. Additional versions of documents are not required, which would consume additional storage. This helps maintain the integrity of the document, as Symphony OCR does not alter a document image in any way. Accuracy. Only Symphony OCR analyzes each PDF document page by page to identify content that needs to undergo an OCR process. This produces more accurate and thorough results. Priority controls. Symphony OCR is built to give a firm total processing control and allow documents to be prioritized. You can prioritize them by date, new documents versus legacy, for example, by cabinet, even by the documents themselves, or when a given matter is urgent, among some of the other options. As a result, processing power is applied to the document that the firm cares about the most. Superior reporting and issue detection. Symphony OCR has superior reporting capabilities. Symphony OCR uses a resolution list to inform administrators when there are documents that require attention in order to be OCR'd. For example, if a document may be encrypted, Symphony OCR can report that so a user can adjust as needed. Rollback feature. We have found that some firms require the need to prove that a document has not been altered over time. If this becomes a necessity, the user can opt to roll back their document at any time and restore it back to the non-OCR document. This also means that one document serves two purposes, the original document as well as the OCR'd version of that document. Easy to administer. Symphony OCR is very simple to set up and maintain, and it's very robust. There are no complex additional database servers or maintenance to worry about. Flexibility. Symphony OCR allows the firm to scale processing capacity up and down each year. And the processing options. In addition to processing PDF and TIFFs, Symphony OCR has a checkbox option to OCR email attachments. With all of these features and benefits, you're sure to find a winner in Symphony OCR. And lastly, we'll share some more about Symphony Profiler. Now that we've talked a bit about how Symphony OCR can help firms solve one of the problems they face, let's talk about another problem firms face. Working remotely has provided some challenges for firms that are needing to scan documents into their document management system. Today's professional firms need ways to save time, money, and resources while maintaining an efficient paperless system. The problem here is that firms have inefficient processes around scanning documents. One option, most employees still scan and then file one document at a time. Another option is that some firms scan and then queue to file all those documents later. Both of these are inefficient processes. If you are opening your doors for the first time today as a brand new firm, you would not design a workflow process like this today. This process is too time-consuming. Let's use a fun analogy here. Let's say you are a Nabisco bakery cranking out Oreos. The icing machine does not ice each Oreo one at a time. That would take forever. A huge batch of cookies instead show up at once, and the machine will then ice the entire batch. So if you were creating a scanning workflow today, you wouldn't create a process where your employees have to scan one document at a time. It's not that efficient. So what would be a better process for your firm? Let's think about your scanning process like going to dinner with some friends. You could all meet at a restaurant together on a busy Saturday night. But let's think of this prior to COVID to really imagine that Saturday night. You'd walk up to the hostess stand, and while putting your name on the list, you find out that the wait could be over an hour. Let's also imagine you have tickets to a great play that night, so you're concerned that it could really crunch your timeline for the evening. But what if you called the restaurant prior to driving down and they already put your name on the list? Better yet, they even reserved you a table. So when you show up, you get to be seated right away. Now you can enjoy dinner and dessert and still make it to that play. Now that's working more efficiently. Symphony Profiler flips around your workflow in a similar manner to make it more efficient. First, it prompts you to tell Worldox where the document is going to live by making a reservation. You can continue to do this with as many documents as you may have. In order to separate out these documents, you will place cover sheets over the document with that reservation ID. Then when ready, you can bulk scan all of your documents at once. Symphony Profiler automatically splits each document and then files them to the correct Worldox location based on that reservation ID. Now let's say I have a stack of 35 documents that need scanning, all for different clients. Now I can profile those 35 documents in about 5 minutes especially if I'm using the quick profiles in Worldox. And then I take my entire stack of files, again, for different client matters, to the scanner. In this scenario, let's assume that my scanner holds 200 pages, so I can drop them all in to do a single scan. Symfony Profiler does the rest and automatically files all of the 35 documents into Worldox. If you would like to combine both Symfony Profiler and Symphony OCR for your firm, you can. We call that bundle Symphony Suite. Symphony Suite is the complete imaging solution that streamlines the process for scanning, filing, and OCRing documents into your Worldox system, knowing that every keyword and phrase in the document can be found with a simple text search. Symphony Suite combines two robust products, Symphony Profiler and Symphony OCR, in a single powerful imaging suite. At the beginning of this conversation, we asked you, what is your time worth? No matter what your answer may be, we want to give you that time back to do more meaningful work. You've already invested in a document management system to help organize your firm's documents. Now's the time to really make sure you are utilizing it to its full potential to maximize your return on investment. Your time is worth it. Another question, where do you find Trumpet products? First, you can ask your Worldox VAR if they sell Trumpet products. We work with many Worldox VARs, so there's a high chance that they do. If they do, they would be happy to help get you up and running. Or you can reach out to us directly. If you would like more information about any of our products, you can visit our website, trumpetinc.com/solutions. If you are a reseller and would like to talk about selling Trumpet products, please feel free to email us. Now we can move into the questions.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation, Angela and Andrea. Let's see, do we have any questions? Okay, yes, can you share more about the pricing for these products?
Sure, that's a great question. These products will be priced as an annual subscription. Pricing for Symphony OCR, Symphony Profiler, or Symphony Suite are going to be based on the number of users and if you're using Worldox Pro or Worldox Cloud. Autofiler is an annual subscription for the software, but the custom workflow pricing changes based per project.
This is Rebecca from Worldox, and I was listening intently to the part about Symfony and the ability to roll back to a previous version of a PDF, which sounds like a really great feature. Does that mean that when you're planning, do you have to make sure that you have enough disk space to do that?
I'll take that one. So the way that is set up, Rebecca, is when we add the invisible layer of text or OCR on the top of the file, it's actually added to the bottom of the PDF file. And when we roll that back, it simply removes the OCR portion of the PDF. So you don't need any additional disk space or anything like that to roll it back.
Okay, so it's not like making an additional copy of the file. It's merely just adding a text layer, removing the text layer.
You got it.
Perfect. I'm even more impressed.
Yeah, you could, in theory, if you wanted to, if you needed to prove it, you needed it long term, you could save the rolled back version, to your desktop or something like that if you needed to.
Cool.
Okay, we just got another question in asking about Autofiler. How would a law firm use it and benefit from it?
Sure. So most of the law firms that I work with have a ton of billing statements that get generated from their time and billing software. Those typically get put in a folder tree somewhere, and then they have to, the filers have to drag and drop and profile the document and lather, rinse, repeat until they do, 700 invoices or time and billing statements. So the way the Autofiler works is it reads either the contents of the file to find information about where it should profile the document, or it would read the actual naming convention on the file to obtain the client matter. You would drag and drop the entire stack of, the entire set of PDF files on top of the tool, and then go ahead and click the go button, and it automatically files those using the Worldox API.
And I think we've actually had other clients in other industries who often are in receipt of PDF statements of one sort or another that they get in bulk for, maybe for one client, maybe for a bunch of their clients, and don't want to have to spend the time profiling each one. And this would be a perfect solution for them too, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you had a whole bunch of documents, Rebecca, for one client matter, but different doc types, and the naming convention of the file had the doc type, or the contents of the file had the doc type, again, we could read that from either the contents of the file or from the naming convention and get those all into one spot quickly. Discovery, it might work great for discovery, any sort of billing statement, invoices, that kind of thing.
So when you use it, do you set up criteria within Autofiler for, based on your Worldox configuration and what criteria it should use to determine where to file things?
Yep, absolutely. And that's what Angela was mentioning. That is one of our more custom solutions that includes workflow consulting.
Okay, cool.
Yep,
and we've
so
actually got, go ahead.
That is set up custom.
Okay.
Per firm.
So we've got another question that came in. People, like with everybody working from home right now, what are there any special requirements for Symphony Profiler?
Sure. So you would need to have, so if you're bulk scanning, you would need to have the ability to transfer the file to the network. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. One method is through what we call a background file transfer, which works in both Worldox Cloud and Worldox Professional, and it copies the files from a local workstation to the either cloud or the servers. So that's a great option for remote work.
Okay. Yeah, it's been an interesting time. I've seen firms handle the whole scanning situation in different ways. There are some firms that have, that they've taken this opportunity to go completely paperless, and they have, maybe one person who goes into the office and gets the mail and scans all the mail into the system, and then it all gets distributed electronically. So this might be a good solution for that as well.
Sure, absolutely. Instead of having the mail sent to the office, have the mail forwarded to the person's home who's responsible for scanning.
Or even if it goes to the office, using Autofiler to figure out where everything needs to be filed.
Yeah, Autofiler works with rendered PDF files, not scanned images.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, that adds a little bit of complexity. If the naming convention on the file is standard, you could use scanned images, but then you would still need to name the file. It's a great question.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, just
but
always
if they were
trying to
putting
come
all
up
their
with...
mail, yeah.
Go ahead.
If they were going to be putting all their mail into their Worldox system, Symphony Profiler would work, because Symphony Profiler, you would just have those individual cover pages that you would then separate out each individual document that needed to live in a separate place in Worldox.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm always, like these days, I'm always looking for different options for people, because so many of our clients are working remotely and trying to come up with creative solutions on how to do that better.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions?
I'm looking to see if there are any other questions. I think we kind of covered everybody's questions that came in. I don't know if you have anything else, Angela or Andrea, anything you would like to add that that you didn't cover yet?
I think we covered everything on my end. Andrea, is there anything additional that you might like to throw on?
No, I'm all set.
The only other thing would be just a huge thank you again for everybody for their participation and for Worldox for helping getting this all coordinated with us.
And well, thank you very much, Andrea and Angela, for providing us with an overview of how all the Trumpet tools can help enhance the Worldox experience. We are going to post a recording of the webinar, so anyone unable to sit in today will still have a chance to see it. Everyone who attended today, thank you very much. We do hope that you will join us again for another presentation in this technology webinar series, usually scheduled for Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we are going to take a break so that we can all celebrate Thanksgiving. And we wish all of you a very happy and safe holiday. And have a great weekend this weekend.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.